So, we just come out of the theater. We just seen Ant-Man and the Wasp.
And this is obviously going to be very spoiler heavy.
I think we may as well say that right out of the gate.
Yeah, this is just basically spoiler talk, kind of a review, more spoiler talk than anything.
And if anything, like, if you want to look at it as a review, basically, this movie, it has great direction. It has great music in it. Everything. I love this one.
Acting in it is awesome. The CGI is great again.
Like, it's Marvel.
And
Everything about it is basically as good as you're gonna get.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, the story, like I said, the story in Ant-Man almost feels stolen from Iron Man, whereas the story from this feels authentic.
It does feel more original. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. And then, with that being said, basically this movie is about Hank Pym and Scott Lang and Hope Van Dyne trying to...
They're trying to save, what's her name again? Janet?
Maybe?
Janet?
Something like that. They're trying to break back into the quantum realm because... Of course, in the first movie, Scott went in there and then he came back out. With that being said, we won't say anything further, but that's the basic story, is them trying to get back into the quantum realm and trying to get her out of there.
Yeah, like, they seen the first movie, like, Ant-Man made it and came back okay, so they're like, we it can be done, basically. But, overall, I give it a thumbs up.
I give it a very thumbs up.
Like, and it is funnier than the first. So much funnier.
This movie is possibly the funniest Marvel movie.
Yeah, I agree.
Between this
and the comedy's not pushed like in
Thor.
Like some of the comedy in Thor was like, you didn't need that. All the comedy in this felt like it was like, yeah.
And it's like situational humor. Yeah. It's like, it just brings it back to like, what would they say in this moment? And that brings it like, and as we said, the music, directing, the acting is great. The new villain is, I said this in the movie Ghost, she's a cool villain, but I don't think she's a good villain.
She's not even really a villain. She's almost more of a victim, but she's like a victim who doesn't really have limits. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you almost feel bad for her, but how she's going about it, it's like, screw this girl, man. Like,
yeah, like that's yeah.
Whereas if she had went about it a different way, I probably would have been like, this girl's kind of cool. Like, she could probably do some stuff. But like, they really play with the whole growing and getting smaller in this movie, and I love it. Like when he's stuck small.
But there's funny parts whenever he's like shrinks like to like, for example, like just shorter than a kid and whatever. It's like they make a lot of comedy out of it too.
Like he's stuck like this tall for a little part in the movie, and I love that.
And if you liked Michael Pena in the first movie,
man,
he gives it his all-time 7 in this movie. He's my favorite.
And the truth serum sequence in this movie is just too funny, man. Like they're like, they whip out the stuff. He's like, oh, that's some truth serum. They're like, this isn't truth serum.
He's like, oh, no, man.
You're going to take this and you're going to talk. And he's like, the truth serum. And they're like, nah. But they give it to him and he talks. He talks.
He just goes at it. Can you imagine him just being, like, in Ant-Man 3, he doesn't even say anything. They just keep his lips sealed the whole time.
I can't see.
Don't give him any lines.
They can't. He steals the show anytime he's on screen. I love it. But what's her name? The girl who plays the Wasp. I'm gonna butcher her name if I try.
Evangeline.
I thought her and the Wasp, like that character, I thought she was way more badass than Ant-Man. She actually seems like a legit superhero. Where he seems like he seems like her side.
He seems like a rookie, and she seems like she's been doing this like since she was a kid.
Especially when it comes to like the fighting and stuff, like she is kicking ass in this movie. I loved it.
And like that, and then he just says straight up like, "You gave her wings and blasters," and he's just like, "Oh no, I had that tech available for you, but I'm not going to because I don't trust you because you went and you friggin' fought with the Avengers and shit."
But like they go into the quantum realm in this, like
they spent more time in the quantum realm than I thought they were going to.
Yeah, like they were in it. Well, counting the credit scene, they were in it 2-3 times. Was it?
in the movie.
Yeah. And the whole movie was about the quantum realm and quantum everything. At one point, Paul Rudd's character,
he's
like, so do you just throw quantum in front of random words?
You guys just use quantum for everything, don't you?
Yeah.
And it makes it seem like they're just talking big science words.
Paul Rudd, actually, his acting in this movie was a lot better. Not that it was bad in the first movie, but it was like, especially when there's this part where Janet comes from the quantum realm, but she's like in his body. Oh
no,
God,
man, that is probably the best part of the movie because
like
just
goes
out of nowhere he's just like, oh, like I don't have a lot of time to do this, so like I need to do.
But you almost think he's just fucking.
But it's like what the hell? And then like you realize she's like in his head or whatever.
But you almost believe like there's a girl in his body. The way he's moving.
Like he was great in that scene. Like he seemed like he was a different character.
Yeah.
And like just how he's
holding their hands.
Like he was just looking at them and it was like, oh man. Yeah.
That was.
And then like whenever he snaps out of it, he's just like, whoa, how did I get up here? Then he looks and like
he's
Hank
Pym's.
Yeah, and he's just like, what?
Yeah, I love that part.
This movie was as fun as
like before you were on Instagram or whatever. It was like funniest Marvel movie yet. I was like, they say that about every movie as it comes.
But
out.
yeah,
I could probably say that this was the funniest Marvel.
This
movie
is
yet.
Between this and maybe Guardians.
Yeah, I would say.
And this is probably even funnier than Guardian. Like I didn't see Ant-Man 1 in theaters, so after I seen that, of course, it was one of those movies between that and Guardians where I was just like, yeah, I don't know if I can miss.
I'll grab your keychain.
Anything
mine's hanging up. Yeah, and I went to get toppers at our theater again, and the last couple movies they decided not to give out toppers, and we had to get this friggin' thing, and I just. Like, I'll get it, because it is what it is, and I'm a collector, but I prefer those toppers. Like, I have a mint collection going, and now I don't have Ant-Man or the Wasp.
Just this little keychain.
But, like, that's all they had, and, like, I'll get it, but I'm not satisfied with that.
I'm not either. As you said, I really do prefer the cups and toppers.
Yeah. But, yeah, no, is there anything else in the movie, not credit scenes, that we should talk about?
The whole... And basically they got this, there's two people coming after Ant-Man and the crew. There's this, you got, the
basically
ghost.
The cops and government and FBI who just want to get Hank Pym behind bars, and they want Scott Lang behind bars, it seems.
And then you got like this other crew of like Lawrence Fishburne, and he's with
the ghost girl.
He's with the ghost,
and their whole point is they're trying to fix her because she's like phasing through walls and stuff. Like she's. And
we know that has something to do with the quantum realm, but Hank Pym can't allow them to try and fix this because it'll affect Janet while she's in there, and they need to get her out first.
And I'm glad they didn't spend a whole lot of time on those bad guys, because really they're a minor part in this story.
Yeah.
Like it's just them plus the story that's going on makes the movie. It's not like Infinity War where Thanos is like the bad guy the whole time. Like she's trying to save herself, going about it the wrong way, and then the government's just trying to get them caught while they're trying to do this mission to save her. There's a lot going on, but it doesn't feel like a lot. Like.
So with that being said, technically speaking, this movie actually, in the end, doesn't have a bad guy. This movie doesn't have a villain.
Really, and like no one, like the villain doesn't just implode and disappear. Like she leaves. She gets healed and leaves. Which still, to me, I'm a bit confused with. How she just kind of put her hand on her and healed her.
Well, that's like, what she said. That she said she spent so long in the quantum realm that like you learn and evolve and.
So shit. I wonder if she has like new powers, or can she do the stuff that she could do without the suit now? Like what? I'm just curious what. But then
we get
the post-credits scene.
Yeah, we'll get to that near the end of the video. We'll get to that after the rating.
But, just from making stuff small to big in this movie, like, I loved it. Like, the Pez dispenser, the building, like, they're always making that building smaller and bigger.
That building, like, I saw it, and that was the coolest part in the trailer, and I didn't think that was actually going to be, like, a plot.
Oh, yeah, no,
like, that was an important thing in the movie.
The thing of Hot Wheels, I love that. Like, yeah,
and like how they open it up,
it looks like
Michael
Dinky's
Pena's just like, oh my
car.
god, like any of these cars I can just use, man, like what? And
Just picks the purple car with the flames.
yeah, like the hot rod. And he's like,
But yeah,
whoa.
it's just this big thing full of, it looks like Dinkies. You lift it out, no, it's real cars just shrunk.
I had one of those as a kid.
Man.
The little
I
tire.
love that stuff, and even like the little suit and the little case up in the shelf. Like
He had it hiding whenever she took the trophy, the world's greatest grandma trophy, to show and tell, and he had
some scotch tape,
and he had it taped underneath the thing. Like, it's like, why?
Yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoyed.
I think this movie overall was just plain and simple far superior to the first one. This is not a movie that has a case of sequelitis.
No, it doesn't.
This movie is just like, ooh.
And like, you could argue to say that it's a Wasp movie more so than an Ant-Man, but it feels like it's both of their movie, but it just doesn't quite feel like Ant-Man 2. But it does feel like a sequel to Ant-Man. I don't really know how that, like, what that means.
How you'd word it.
That's the kind of vibe I got from it. But yeah, like you said, it doesn't suffer from sequelitis.
Yeah, like this was more original than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
I walked into this movie thinking, well, yes, I'm going to like this movie. But I came out of it saying, that may have been one of my favorite MCU movies. I'm kind of glad,
too. I'm liking going into these movies. Like, I only try to watch like trailer 1 and then trailer 2, and I avoid everything else.
I don't watch trailer 2.
I love the fact that I'm avoiding the last trailer and all the TV spots. Like,
the last few movies have been...
Civil War, man, I watch every TV spot.
Don't get me started on Civil War, man.
It was awesome at the time. You couldn't get enough of it, watching it over and over on YouTube, and then you go and watch it in theaters, and you realize, like, you've seen
but I'll tell you,
all of this in the trailers. Like,
I'll tell you, the big thing about that was we were looking for Spider-Man during that movie too, man. We were trying to find Spider-Man in any trailer, any TV spot, anything. And that's why that movie. And as I said, we both did it with that movie. Never again. Look at no.
Like, it was awesome getting Spider-Man, how we got him, but like that trailer where they revealed Spider-Man, how many times did you just watch the last 10 seconds of that trailer, man?
At least 100 times.
Oh man, like when that came out, I was obsessed with that, man. Like
2 years ago already, man. Jesus.
And that's what I was thinking when I was sitting there watching the dun 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 dun, dun like the Marvel logo come up. I was just like, holy shit. It's a Marvel movie and we're past Infinity War. I was like, what the... Like, I was just kind of like... it feels nice to get back into the rhythm of not being scared of what the fuck's gonna happen.
What's gonna happen?
Like,
yeah.
At the same time, it's like, so what's gonna happen? Like, after
this one is basically, okay. It's like we've been talking about spoilers the whole time, so I guess it doesn't matter. This movie takes place, like, I'd say maybe, I think it's 2 years. It takes place sometime 2 years after Civil War,
and then ends right during Infinity War. We'll get to that, but yeah, no, it happens. I would say it doesn't pick up after Civil War, but it does in a sense. Like, it's
that's 2 years after Infinity War. Yeah. So, with that being said, should we get into the? You have anything else to say?
No, I don't think. I think we've.
So
aside from like Ant-Man going huge in the water, I love that scene. Like when looking like the whale. Like, I love that scene, man. Like, I crave that scene. Like,
you see his feet pop up.
Yeah. It looks like a whale, but we know that ain't no whale.
It's just black boots.
And he just steps out of the water, and he's probably
bigger than he's ever
the biggest he's been. Yeah, like,
it didn't look like he was that big whenever they showed that in the trailer.
No, and he's in water too, so he's even bigger, right? Like,
yeah.
So, but yeah, no. That being said, we can discuss the post.
Okay,
so the mid-credit scene, the post-credit scene's almost not even worth mentioning.
Yeah, it's just a joke. Basically, so after all is said and done, they're trying to look for a cure for this ghost character because, as we said, technically she's not even a villain. They're just she's just trying to look for help, but she's freaking out because she's been like this for so long.
She's about to die. Like...
So Ant-Man, they're like, oh, well, we know how to do it now, so we're gonna send you into the quantum realm, and we're gonna get you to like gather, like energy from the quantum realm. Well,
was it healing? Quantum healing.
It was something weird. I just looked at it as energy or something.
Yeah.
Like he took like a bunch of it and he put it in like this capsule and like he
opened this thing and it like sucked the energy.
And he can communicate with them from the other side. They're just like, yeah, so we'll be pulling you back in like 5, 4, 3, and then like they get cut off. He's like, wait, what happened?
Hey, you told me not to screw around.
And then we get the scene. Me and him have been calling it since we seen Avengers Infinity War.
As soon as it would mellow out and stuff, I was like, someone's gonna disappear. Someone's gonna disappear.
Man, Hope, Janet, and
all three of them. That's one thing we were discussing. I was like, maybe Hank and maybe the daughter, or like I figured 2 of the 4 would go. I wasn't expecting all 3 of them to go, and it'd only be Ant-Man. I had a feeling that Ant-Man was gonna be the one that didn't go though, just from those leaked photos.
Yeah, they just straight up, man. Guess who got them?
Oh yeah, they turned to the dust or whatever.
It
didn't quite look like the same dust, but it did. Like from
different
Infinity
director.
War, yeah. So I mean, but it is what it is, right?
And now I was just I got the energy got me in the theater. I wasn't
expecting it to happen in the post-credit scene, but at the same time, we even said that before the movie. We were like, it's either gonna happen towards the end of the movie, at the end of the movie, or the post-credit scene. Even at one point, we were like, maybe it's the start of the movie, but like I had this vibe that it wasn't gonna be the start of the movie. But yeah, and then there's a post-credit scene, which is just...
It's basically just an ant playing on, like, the Rock Band drums.
That's it. It's just
and it just says, Ant-Man and the Wasp will return, question mark. And that's what I need to say. Have they put the question mark ever in there?
I don't think. I think that's just because with everything that's going on with Infinity War and the snap and stuff. So.
It's like, will they be back?
But yeah, I can't wait to see what happens with Ant-Man being stuck in the quantum realm. Maybe.
So yeah, as of right
Captain
now,
Marvel will save him.
As of right now, he's stuck in the quantum realm.
1 minute, buddy.
So with that being said, guys, that about wraps up the video for Ant-Man and the Wasp. I pretty well said everything. Other than that, best Stan Lee cameo so far, probably. I loved it.
I don't have the quote down, but it's funny. Probably easily the best one yet. But
yeah,
go check Ant-Man and the Wasp out in theaters and have a good day, guys.
Stay tuned next week for the review of the first Ant-Man. We pre-recorded that today, so
and then
stay
Deadpool
tuned.
will probably be following that. I feel like we should get the Ant-Man one.
Yeah, that'll be out a week from this video, so just stay tuned for that video.
Alrighty, take her easy, guys.